Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bob and AJ Applegarth.
Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, as usual, my co-hosts, AJ Applegarth and Mr. DapScout. What's going on, guys?
What up?
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. Ready to talk some baseball tonight. Glad to have Mr. Traffic Cone over there, Mr. AJ Applegarth. I was gonna say the joke anyway to you, AJ, but you called yourself out earlier, and now
you're welcome.
Can call you out.
That's what I do.
You know what I love though is that AJ during the pre-show was saying that he was wearing that with solidarity with the landscapers of your neighborhood that have gone on strike. Yeah. So I thought that was really great. So.
Dude, you don't even understand.
So are you the one who cut my line over here? You came by.
Yeah.
I
did. You don't even understand the nonsense that goes on within a neighborhood of houses like Joe's. It's just landscape duty comments and commentary from all the people in the houses to those of us trying to be safe and cut grass outside the houses, right, versus like other things that are going on that I just can't get into it. It'd be a whole show, and we're here to talk baseball, so I won't do that to you guys tonight. I mean, Joe knows what he's done. It's okay.
Do I? And I looked away, and now we've flipped spots. We feel better.
I mean,
hey, Mark in the comments requested it, and so it had to be done.
You guys gonna switch places?
Yeah. So yes.
I totally missed it.
Yeah. So when our viewers request stuff, we get it done. But I'm just excited. You didn't ask me why I was excited, other than, of course, we're going to do our intro show, and I'll let you do the whole, come on down. But, I can't wait for the question of the day. I hope we lead with that because I did some freaking research. So I'm ready.
So we gotta save the best for last.
Question of the day.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Anyway, I was busy Oh, wait. Never mind. Yes, I am. I totally am for that. I did catch up on the Slack. Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm ready for that.
Great. Okay. All right. So
we will save that to the end.
As Dap alluded to, I'll try to get through as fast as possible. If you're here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're listening, follow, whatever it is. I don't know all the different places and things that you're supposed to do, but just help us out, man. Just give us a thumbs up and the 5 stars and all that kind of good stuff. We love you. You love us, right? Let's do it. And of course, come on down to FantasySixPack.net/plans and become an all-access member. You're going to get access to our win-rating rankings, our DFS content, weekly projections or daily projections, and then football season's right around the corner. All of our draft cheat sheets will be coming out, the rankings for that as well. And best of all, you're going to talk to the 3 of us and then some over on Discord. If Dap actually ends up opening it back up and talking again ever, I don't know.
What's Discord again?
There's so many
apps. I'm getting rid of Slack soon. Just download Discord and get used to it.
Did you look at Slack? Yes. Did you look at your text messages? Yes. Did you look at why just pick one? Pick one.
I try, and then you guys don't respond on one, so I have to go to the other ones.
Oh my God. Are we married?
Yes. Okay.
And this is why I dress like a safety cone. This is why.
Because just like my marriage counselor dressed like a safety cone. Got it. All right. I got it. All right.
Attention. That's what we need.
All right. Let's do this.
Fun. All right. So, Dap, why are you excited?
About the question of the day?
Okay. Okay. All right. I was just making sure that's what it was. I didn't know if there was something else that I was missing here.
Well, I am excited about that, and I'm excited about an Astro actually getting caught and punished. So that's kind of
Wait, hold on.
That's weird. That's not anything, AJ. That's nothing.
That's the Houston. All right, that's what I call the Houston.
We can't go into regression analysis already. Come on, we can't talk about the big. All right, fine, we'll do the.
It's just the intro slide.
All right,
it's the title slide. Relax.
All right,
come on. Don't you know how this works yet? All right,
yeah.
So as you mentioned, Blanco was suspended for sticky stuff on his non-throwing hand, which is a big no-no. Right. It is what it is.
So many ways I could go with this.
That's why I said it the way I did. So just have fun with that one in your own heads. With that said, I mean, like, look, he's obviously, he's being suspended for 10 games. I don't think he's appealing it.
No, he said he's not going to appeal it today.
I mean, there's no point, like nobody's winning those. So I want to ask the both
one more game first, and then
I know, right?
10. But as a starter, though, I mean, the 10-game suspension I think is a joke. I mean, let's be honest.
It is.
If it was like 10 starts, then I think
it's garbage.
Yeah, but the whole 10 games, it's just stupid.
It's like when pitchers when they get into a fight, right? They get suspended for like 3 games, and you're like, that they're not even missing a start. Like, who cares? Right. So all right, I want to ask to both of you. AJ, we'll start with you first. How big of a deal is this in fantasy? Like, do you think this affects his value going forward?
I don't think it affects his value much. I mean, the guy's already thrown a no-hitter, but is that tainted like his hands were or were not? TBD. I don't think this is a fantasy thing. It's really not. Like, we just talked about it jokingly, but it's really a serious thing. You get suspended for 10 games. Who cares? You're not coming in for 2 starts. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, the Astros are an S show as it is of cheating. They're basically the Patriots of the MLB at this point, and this is just another notch in that belt. So that's like real life talk, but for fantasy, no, I don't think this matters much. You're gonna find a way to plug somebody else in. You're basically streaming your Blanco spot for 2 weeks. Like, and
if you can, I mean, a lot of leagues can't put suspended players in the IL. So
that's
none of mine can.
I mean, you're not. Are you going to drop this guy? Are you really going to drop him?
But I will say, there's been a lot of discussion in those lovely those Facebook groups that I'm in about like, dude, drop this guy. No. Yeah,
I've had some pretty crazy trade offers from the Blancos from Blanco owners in a lot of my leagues that are really looking to sell low, and I'm just
okay.
Just as a word of advice, if you're a Blanco owner, do not do it. A couple things that are kind of interesting about the suspension is he's not allowed to sit at the dugout, but he is allowed to be there for pregame warmups. And so they're looking at having him throw batting practice, during the games and things of that nature. So that way he can stay sharp. So it's not like has to stay away from the team. It's really a weak suspension, a very weak suspension from all intents and purposes. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's trying to get rid of Blanco, absolutely pick him up. And then on top of that, I mean, he's not exactly like, throwing just seeds out there. I mean, this is a guy who has some control. I mean, the great things that, we've been seeing, of course, is the fact that he has some, around 9 Ks per 9, but he's still under that. So this isn't a guy who's throwing, he's not a power pitcher. And what, Saris actually had a quote where he was talking to Dallas Braden, who was talking about the fact that he did think that there was a lot of an increase in spike and velocity or something like that, or spin rate, and that would show that maybe this was just something simple like suntan, lotion, and sweat. So, Saris actually put up there that you did not see an increase in velocity, spin rate especially, which is something you see when they use sticky stuff in this start versus his other starts. So I'm really going to be interested to see what happens in that first start back, because I just think this is one of those things where maybe he was on the line of cheating. Yes, technically by the letter he was, but at the same time, I just don't think it affects his game that much. So absolutely keep him. And from a fantasy perspective, it's 2 games and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing too was the whole time he's sitting there like, hey, look at my hands. Like, if this is something that's in my glove, it should be on my hands. And that makes sense. You know, I've never been a pitcher in baseball or little league or whatever as I was playing growing up. But if you're going to put something in your glove and you're going to try to put it on the ball to cheat, allegedly, then it's going to be somewhere else on your hands. Like, it's almost like common sense meets stupidity here with what the hell these people are doing. And I mean, I side with him on that, and that's why I'm wearing the safety cone orange, because I knew we were talking about this. This is what I'm doing today. Solidarity for cheaters, for lawn friends, and for safety cones all around that get their asses kicked on the highways on a daily basis.
So, hey, I hear you, buddy.
It's everywhere. I'm just here for the people and the objects. All right, people and the objects. What can I say?
I don't know what's happening right now. What?
I have no idea.
I've lost my train of thought completely at this point. No, and so like, look, I kind of thought about this for a second. I was like, well, we've seen some guys get suspended before, right? And so I was looking at some stats, and so
this is interesting.
There have been 5 other pitchers now suspended, in the last couple of years for this, once they started really cracking down on it. So I'm going to share this, and I know it's going to be hard to read, so I apologize. You guys might need to like zoom in and go get the magnifying glass, but I'll try my best here. So this is the pitcher before they got suspended and the pitcher stats after. Like, I'm going to just summarize this for you all really quickly. There's no difference.
Yeah.
So, like, what they're suspending these players for, and they're thinking like, oh, they're gaining this huge advantage over using whatever sticky stuff they're getting suspended for. They're either not actually using it, and so they're getting suspended for nothing, or whatever it is that they're using isn't really helping them as much as it is. If anything, like the one that really got me was Caleb Smith. This was a couple of years ago. Like, his stats not great. It was only a 6-game sample size afterwards. He got suspended in like August.
Right.
His ERA dropped by like more than double. It was like, holy crap. Okay.
He was like, maybe I should stop using it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not doing this right. Sorry, guys.
German,
suspend me.
Mingo German
give me time.
Got worse. He's the only one who like legitimately got worse. Right. But everybody else either kind of was the same or slightly better. So like, I'm not worried about Blanco at all, honestly. I think the only thing I'm worried about him is that the dude's never done this before, not even close. And so like, how long was it going to last? And maybe sitting for taking 2 starts off gets him out of rhythm a little bit and gets him off that like cycle of just being awesome, and it just kind of like starts the downward trend, his regression back to the mean, his mean, right? So hopefully we don't see that, because he's been awesome, but I mean, I don't think he was gonna, he wasn't gonna be able to last a ton much longer with the innings limit he probably was gonna have anyway. So but this was fascinating information. This is honestly not what I expected to see when I started pulling up these stats. I thought we were going to see, these guys get considerably worse, and they didn't. So it was pretty fascinating to see all of this.
And one thing to keep in mind too, if the current Blanco owner in your league, if it's not you, isn't completely panicking yet, right, and then he comes back and he does have a bad start after this, maybe then is the time to pounce and be like, hey, okay, he's regressed completely. Like you'd have to think if he comes out of this and has a really poor start, people are going to be trying to sell like crazy then if they're not already. So I'm not against jumping on this. I think he's going to be fine when he comes out of this. Again, there might be some regression just again because this isn't what we've seen from him yet. So
I want to see Max Scherzer after he got suspended. His first outing was like, holy crap. He got lit up. And everybody was like, holy crap. And then he reeled off like 1, 2, 3, 4 like phenomenal starts in a row. And it was like, oh, all right, never mind. So like it's very well that could happen. And again, that's just, you get these pitchers off the rhythm and they're creatures of habit. And so, if it doesn't, if it just you change just a little bit for these guys, they can affect them quite a bit, but they'll get back into it, right? So speaking of regression, so today we are talking about some regression back to the mean for some of these players who got off on either hot starts or really cold starts, and just kind of look at some of the players who have sort of turned it back the other way, good or bad. And the very first player I want to bring up here is Julio Rodriguez. And like the overall stats really aren't there still, right? You're still not getting what you paid for, right? But I think what I like here is the fact that like he's walking more, his OBP is back up, right? His batting average is starting to climb. He's making better contact on the ball. I'm a firm believer that the home runs and the steals are coming for this guy, and they're going to come in bunches soon, right? Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
Wait. Yeah, the home runs. I'm sorry, because for some reason I was like stolen bases. Yeah.
Both?
The thing is, yeah, that too. The thing is that his underlying numbers, and we've kind of hinted at this, have been pretty solid this entire year. I mean, his max exit velocity is a little low, but his exit velocity average is 0.2 less than last year. His launch angle is about 1 degree difference than last year. I mean, but his sweet spot percentage is actually up from last year. I mean, all the underlying numbers spoke to that this was just a bad little, phase. It's gonna come, and he's hitting like I believe there's a week. The last 4 games, like he had like I don't know, almost all his balls that he hit were like over 100 miles an hour. So it's just a matter of those balls falling in, and I have no doubt whatsoever that he's gonna exactly that he's gonna hit in bunches. I wish he didn't play in Seattle all the time, but he's just so damn good. It doesn't matter where the man is. I think he's just starting a little slow. One thing that was really awesome, though, is Scott Servais, the manager for the Mariners, had a quote that said that Julio Rodriguez was working out with one of the Mariners' other players. Day, night, at breakfast, they're talking about swinging. They were practicing all the time. And I love seeing and hearing about a player attacking it that way, versus just like, oh, it's going to come. This guy's absolutely out there studying, doing whatever he can, talking to veterans, and the dude's going to be fine. And we said that at the get-go when he was, we're like, please, for the love of God, drop him, you idiots out there. But I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, I don't know what to tell you. If you're worried about it, then you shouldn't be playing. It's kind of like, I'm scared. I have pocket aces. Oh God, what am I supposed to do? You got to play.
Split them, right?
Yeah, right. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But
yeah. Well, so AJ, I want to ask you because I purposely put him on here because you texted me about the trade you were offered, right? So somebody's offering you. There's like there's a few other players mixed in, but it is essentially the bulk. The 2 primary pieces in this trade are J-Rod and Tucker, right? And then you're giving up a couple like weaker pieces.
Wait, back up. Who's giving up who?
I was
so AJ would be giving.
I was offered J-Rod, Abrams, and somebody else. I can't remember who.
Ozuna?
And Ozuna for Tucker, Westberg, and someone else not as good.
Season long or dynasty?
Season long.
Just redraft.
Yeah, redraft. No keeper.
All right.
Points league.
Hold on. It was.
It's hard to
and
see. That's a tough one.
No,
I feel like you're not buying
it was a
low
but
on
here,
Julio Rodriguez at that point.
I would. I think you're kind of trading Tucker and Julio kind of have the same value there. The only thing is maybe you're getting better stolen bases with Julio, but that's kind of like for like there. If you were getting, if he was asking for a non-top 20 player, then yeah, you're getting a discount. But that's kind of, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Chad's got.
I think it was a Rosarina.
I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was a Rosarina.
Yeah. So, which I have a super stack, and it's head-to-head points in that league. I mean, the guy's been trying to get Tucker from me since week 2, basically, and week 1, I beat him, which was a stupid the 4 game through that first weekend, which counted the Korea games, but ESPN's wonky, so whatever. I didn't argue with him because it was the best trade offer he'd given me,
right.
But I sent it to Joe and I was like, what do you think of this? Because I don't hate it compared to what I've been offered, but
right. If he wants Julio that bad, then give him a trade that doesn't involve Tucker, and I think you'll be better off. I mean,
no, he wants Tucker from me.
He wants Tucker.
I know he does. I'm saying offer him a trade for Julio Rodriguez that doesn't include your Tucker.
Oh no, but this guy.
Yeah,
this is who he's trying to get. Is Tucker.
Well, if he wants Tucker, then I would ask for the frickin' moon. Sorry, the frickin' moon.
That's pretty much.
Right,
he's
I
thought I sent you these trades before Tucker went off. I'm like, Tucker's been good all fucking season. So
yeah,
I don't know. You've been sending me trades all season. So
yeah.
But
it's funny because I told you, AJ, I said if this was like week 2 or 3,
yeah,
I'd probably go absolutely. I'm taking a chance on Julio. We're talking week 6, 7 at this point.
I mean, he's coming
around. He's around, but I don't think I want to take that chance. Like you're giving up Tucker, who's already doing it for a guy who hasn't yet, and we know he can.
Right.
But it's like, is he that much better to take a chance on him? Not really. I mean, Tucker was like the 6th pick in a lot of leagues. Yes, J-Rod was 2nd, but
the biggest issue with it is, the J-Rod and Abrams, and then whoever else he was offering me. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but it was like, it weakens my second base, and it my weak spot is shortstop. So I'm looking at Abrams, who we're going to talk about here shortly. And I'm like, well, I don't really I'm not gaining anything here. This isn't really helping me because it's still, I potentially gain in shortstop, but I lose out huge in second base because then all I have left is freaking Kim, who's not even batting where he was.
No, so you said it was J-Rod, Ozuna, Abrams.
Yeah, that's right.
Rosarina, Westberg. So you've already said it.
Yeah, so the Ozuna, Ozuna's been on a tear though. So I mean, it was a fair deal.
It is. It's just a matter of which it really is personal preference, and I'm probably just sticking with what works. Yeah. We do have a question here from Baby Jesus. Hopeful outlook for Corbin as well. I'm not as confident with Corbin anymore. I really am not. The underlying metrics don't look good for him.
So there's a couple things about Corbin. I was going to hit on it, but I'm glad somebody brings it up. He is leading. Well, he's one of the leaders of infield fly balls. He's not hitting the ball out of the infield, right? And if 4 of his last 31 hits have been infield hits. Along with a 45% ground ball rate, a 25% hard hit rate. This is all by Dynasty Junkie on Twitter. And a career low 225 base BABIP. Now, typically when I see 225 BABIP, right, I'm like, oh my God, it's unlucky. But when you look at these underlying metrics, that's really concerning. You're not hitting the ball hard. You're not hitting line balls, and then you're not even hitting out of the infield. Oh God, you can't use that stuff. And yeah, what Mark just says, maybe his shoulder's bothering him. This is one of those times where you start thinking it's got to be an injury because he has so much talent. And last time he was having this kind of issue, then they were like, oh, by the way, he lost his arm in the airport, and you're like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So it's got to be something else because at this point, I'm super concerned. You couldn't even probably get 50 cents on the dollar for him at this point from anybody in the league. You just have to hold them, considering that you probably got a first round or second round pick on him at the latest.
I kind of think, dude, if I'm getting anybody who's producing better than him right now, I think I'm tossing him. I think I'm just
dropping him.
Not dropping. If I'm able to trade him for something like half decent,
got it.
Trigger on that. Sometimes,
when I hear tossing, I'm thinking about my mom and when she got rid of me. Okay, tossing him. Got it. Okay.
I think I would make the trade because
I try to pick up Joe's leaves and he's like, no. Right. And he just tosses me to the curb, and I'm like, dude, I've heard that enough.
All right, let's move on. Next up here on the list is Mr. Oneil Cruz. Had decent counting stats in April, March, 3 home runs, 3 stolen bases. The batting average was abysmal though, man, 239. Really turning things around here in May. Already has 4 home runs, 1 stolen base. The batting average is all the way up, like almost 100 points. Slugging up for 350 points. Like, just incredible turnaround here. This is the type of players that this is why we tell you, right? Patience is key through the first month and change of the season, right? Because your superstars are going to figure it out, right? For the most part. It's not always the case, but for the most part, this is going to work. So any thoughts on Oneil Cruz? This is what we should be getting the rest of the year. Maybe not quite 333 batting average, I would say. But other than that, we're expecting an easy 25-25 type guy, I would imagine.
If that's for me, then yes, absolutely. Look, I know we weren't going to hit on this till next week. The bat speed piece. Giancarlo Stanton has highest bat speed at 80.6, right? That's the average. Second highest, Oneil Cruz, 77.9. Now that doesn't mean much, right? If you don't actually make contact, but again, it's one of those things like we did with J-Rod, right? The underlying metrics are insane with Oneil Cruz, right? He hit 115 mile an hour home run a couple days ago. Exit velocity of above 116, which is just, I can't even think about that right now, right? And he constantly amazes. He's a lot like Elly De La Cruz. I know we're going to talk about him in a minute, but in the sense that he's fun to watch, but I think he's a little bit more polished than Elly. And the guy's always been a guy who's going to strike out. So it's just a matter of in bunches, right? So it's a matter of where it's going to happen, right? So he went through it already. And so now we're going through the hot streak. If you didn't know that you're going to get this with Oneil Cruz when you drafted him, I don't know what to tell you. He's an incredibly fun player to watch in real life. In fantasy, he's incredibly stressful, but you just start him because he might have a 4-homer game. He's just that good, but he's also that, he can also have 8 strikeouts. Who the heck knows? But
Gabe Davis in football. He has 40-point games and then a 0 game.
Absolutely.
0 for 3 weeks though is Gabe Davis. Maybe there's a 3 thrown in there, because he randomly picked up a fumble or something. But now Cruz, I think you hit it right on with Cruz there, Dap. I've liked this guy a lot. I unfortunately was not able to draft him in any leagues this year because he was highly sought after, and the people that got him, well, they weren't happy with him early because of these stats, but now in at least in my leagues, no one's gotten rid of him because they believed. They waited for it to come around, and it's here, dude. I mean, the RBIs are consistent, the homers again consistent, but it's just the batting average alone is what stands out the most to me. I mean, the OBP is huge too. I mean, shit, doubling slugging, huge. Like this is what you drafted the guy for. So you're not going to give up. We preach this all the time. Don't just give up and rage drop people, even though I still do it. I'm telling you,
Bond.
Don't do as I do, and don't do as I say some of these times, or do as I say, don't do as I do, whatever it is. But yeah, Cruz is here to stay. He's a great young talent, and I don't blame you if you're holding him. You should have.
Yeah. I think we can move on to the next guy here, and that's Aaron Judge. The home runs were there in the first month. I mean, anytime this guy hits the ball, it's basically most likely a bomb, right? But the batting average, man, was below 200 for much of the month, and then he finally got it back over 200 at the very end. Now he's batting 378 in May. Like, the guy is fully locked in at this point.
He put contact.
Five home runs this month already. So it's slugging percentage of 867 in May is just ridiculous. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, I thought Oneil's was impressive, and then I was like,
rushing the
next
ball
slide,
right
please.
Yeah. I believe if I were to look that up, actually, does he have the highest slugging? Or like very close to it in the month of slugging. If I rank that highest to lowest, highest is Wilson Contreras is beating him by not much, and then Ohtani is right behind him. So 889 to 867 to 857 are the top three. Just ridiculous. So I mean, of course, this is a little bit of a hot streak for Judge, but this is what we were, everybody was expecting way more than what they got. You were loving the home runs in April and in March, but there wasn't much else with it. It felt like, and you just were just praying he could just make it. And it's weird, like it didn't make any sense because Soto was there to like help protect him and stuff in that lineup. I mean, the Yankees were winning games too, so I don't know. What's with the turnaround here?
Well, I mean, right. The Yankees, first of all, have been incredibly slow from almost top to bottom from starting, right? And on top of that, what did we say previously? If Judge was hurt, right, then we of course were concerned. We didn't know if he was. We'd never know but he hasn't come out and said that he was, and so he's a professional freaking hitter. I mean, it's Aaron Judge. As much as I hate the Yankees, you got to give your flowers to Judge for being who he is. And he was, just needed to get, I guess, warmer, right? Or whatever the case. And he just came around. It's really kind of the same thing with, Julio and some of these other guys where you're just kind of like, the guy's, first, second rounder for a reason. And that's why. So, I mean, other than that, he's always been swinging fast. He was striking out because he looked like he was getting frustrated out there. And look, the whole Yankees squad looked pretty pissed at themselves for, being so terrible that first month or so. I would not drop.
Horace. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, two doubles today, Mark. I'm
hanging tight there, but you want to show this? So this is Judge's Statcast page. Look at all this red.
Yeah, that's
99 percentile.
Let's remind everybody, red's good. Red is good.
Exit velocity, bat speed 97, barrel
percentage. Red means go in this scenario.
This is pretty damn good. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on this. That's about as far as this is going to go.
Another thing to think of though too is like looking at these stats that we have on our sheet, like BABIP factors into this too. Wilson Contreras, okay, great. He just hasn't beat by slugging, barely by 22 points or 0.022 points. And he's injured. So he's not, Judge can surpass that. But looking at the BABIP too, dude, Contreras had a 0.714 BABIP. Like that's
crazy. I mean, granted, it's a 6-game sample, but yeah, that's
exactly. It's half of the sample that we have for Judge, and Judge is more than half of that at 400. Yeah. So he's been pretty lucky too.
Right.
But we still have a half a month to go.
When you hit the ball as hard as Aaron Judge, though, your BABIP is going to be pretty high. So
exactly,
yeah. It is. So, but I can see that kind of like regressing to what you'd expect for Judge. Which is still
pretty damn good, by the way.
He should still be the top
really matter
in this, and he'll overtake the slugging. I'm not concerned with that.
Yeah. So our next guy here is the only pitcher on this side of the fence in this discussion, and a guy who, sorry, Dap, we got to bring him up because, call us both out. We put him on our drop list 2 weeks ago because he was, he sucked. He really sucked. I mean, he was one of the worst pitchers in April and March. I mean, a 4.91 ERA, was just walking guys left and right. Strikeouts weren't there. I mean, he was bad. And now in I believe this is 3 starts in May now. He got a below 2 ERA. He's still walking a fair number of guys. So that's still concerning, but it's nowhere near the ratio that he had before. And you can see that right here, like on the screen here, we've got, strikeouts to walk ratio. It was 1.06 before. Now it's almost 2.5, which is much better. So, you would like to see more strikeouts from a guy like McKenzie. I think, when he came in, he was known as a strikeout guy. And he's sort of gotten away from that.
He would touch 97 miles an hour constantly with his fastball when he first came to the league. Now, not even close.
No, he's not the power pitcher anymore. Right. And I think he's learning, right? Like he needs to be able, if he can't just overpower people with his pitch, he has to have better control. And so, a couple years ago, we said this in the drop show that, a couple years ago, he was phenomenal. And then just kind of injuries piled on, and maybe that took a toll. You were drafting him this year pretty late because you were hoping he was going to get back even remotely close to what he did a couple years ago. Right. But it looked like that was not going to happen. So we were good dropping him. Well, ever since then, we don't get everything right, he has been amazing.
Right, let me tell you this. If we did that show right now, I would tell you that you still need to drop McKenzie. And I'm going to tell you what. If you pull up his StatCast page, go ahead, pull it up, Joe, because I would love for you to just take your time. Pull up that Baseball Savant page because it is ugly. So remember all the red means go? There's a lot of blue there, Joe. And then on top of that, the other fun part is if you go a little further down, look at his four-seamer that he still uses way too much considering the value of that pitch. Look at that heat map. It's right square in the middle of the thing. That scares the heck out of me. This guy is going to get in these lucky streaks. Who did they play in those 2 games, Joe? Do you have any idea? Those 2 starts? The White Sox were one of them. Yeah, the White Sox were one of them. Right, yeah. And
was Oakland the other 2?
No, the Astros, but the Astros are
the cheaters. So
yeah. But yeah, so I have zero want to go out and grab him. I think it's awesome that he's kind of turned it around at 26. I'm always rooting for somebody to kind of pull it together. He's right before that, age 27 kind of takeoff season. But there's 2 things that I know about McKenzie. One, he's going to be hurt. Probably he's already hurt just listening to me talk on this podcast. And then the second thing is the numbers don't lie. he is not as good as what he's producing right now. I just guarantee. I 100%. I'm out. And so this isn't me trying to cover myself. I would tell you 100%. Like, hey man, I messed up. I don't think that's the case with McKenzie. Sorry, that's my rant for McKenzie.
I mean,
no, and you're right. I mean, like if you look at BABIP for pitchers, right? His BABIP is 208. That's super low. His batting average is like 170. That's not sustainable. So you're right. But yeah, I mean, like, maybe you pick him up. Like if he has another like White Sox start coming up.
Yeah,
like,
if he's got Oakland or White Sox,
means,
heck yeah. Go get him.
Go by all means. Yeah, I mean, Mark saying it too. Like he was dropped in a league, streamed it versus the Sox. Don't trust him unless to hang on. I totally get it. Chad's totally agreeing with you here, and yeah, 100%. Take it with a grain of salt, but it was just kind of interesting to be like, oh wow, he popped up like on the sheet as like a guy who like turned it around. I was like, no way.
When you sent the sheet this morning, I was like, okay, Julio, Oneil, yeah, no, like Triston McKenzie. Then I like literally had to be like, what did I miss?
Yeah, I know. I kind of had to do the same thing. I had to go back and look at the numbers and make sure like I had all the like it was right because it
right exactly.
Like, wait a minute, okay, and yeah, all right, sure, man, dude. You do you, Triston McKenzie. I don't.
Just not on my team, buddy.
You can be on somebody else's team. Have fun.
Exactly. So, I'm not dealing with
AJ, any thoughts, or you want to move over to?
If we're going to compare, apples and rotten apples, you're looking at McKenzie, and let's just throw Corbin Burnes out there. Why not? For the month of May, their innings are nearly identical. Their ERAs are, Corbin's a whole point lower at 2.95 compared to the 193. The whips are pretty comparable. Strikeouts, comparable. Who are you going with the rest of the year, though? Yep. You're going with Corbin Burnes. Like, this isn't.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah,
I was just kind of nodding my head, like, okay, all right.
You're not gonna look at this and be like, well, you know what? I've got to go with the guy that I'm comfortable with, and that's McKenzie because he's had a really good May. Okay, great. May doesn't matter for certain players, and you've got to go with the better quantity here. So,
and here's the thing. And just one more thing there is he is getting by with his breaking ball, and pretty soon people are going to lay off that breaking ball and wait till they throw a fastball, because they're going to just destroy that because I think the average velocity of his fastball is like 92 miles an hour, give or take. They're going to destroy that. So whatever. I can't. Like Triston McKenzie. I think
we've talked long enough.
Triston McKenzie causes a visceral reaction in me. I apologize. Yeah. Go ahead.
Moving on.
Like I could say another name to get another reaction out of you, but we won't do it. Maybe.
But you know what though? Can we just mention for a second? Schneider. Did we not talk about Schneider? Yeah. Can we talk about how great Schneider's been?
Hey, I picked him up in the Fantasy Six Pack OG League, man.
Yeah, because he's awesome. And Bijou should not have been in front of him. Sorry, go ahead. Yes. Next one.
Ding. where's
everybody outside of Toronto knows that, but took them a little longer.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes,
there's no mic today, so sorry, I had to do this myself.
Sorry.
Ratio counter is now at 10 for the season. All right, so moving on here. So now we're gonna move over to the other side of the fence here and talk about some players who started out really, really well and have cooled off considerably, and just kind of what our worry meter is, when we think they'll turn it around. A lot of these guys you're holding on to. It is what it is, right? But just kind of what's going on, what we think is happening. And we'll start with Tyler O'Neill for the Red Sox. This guy was just hitting rockets out of Fenway, man. Like 9 bombs in the first month, hitting 320. What happened, Dap? Like block 52s, only got one home run. Just can't seem to get things going here in May. Right. I mean, I don't think he was as good as he was in April.
Right.
But I don't think he's this bad, right? Like what?
Well, I mean, if you followed his career with the Cardinals, and he's always kind of been like this in the sense that he's had these like amazing, streaks. We're going back to a very streaky player, but I think that having this new start and of course enjoying the Green Monster and hitting a lot of his balls pull side as well. He was loving it there the first 2 months there, and I don't know if they got back in his head or what. The only thing that there's a couple things here that are kind of either exciting or concerning depending on your take. He plays St. Louis this weekend, and the idea, of course, being the revenge series. He gets to go back and show them what they shouldn't have traded me away. Let me show you what you're missing out on, or you shouldn't let me go, whatever. And so there's that piece that could re-energize his May. The other part, of course, is the fact that they're sitting him today. Today is the 16th, and they're sitting him, which is, again, a little. So you have the plus and minuses. I mean, overall, I don't see a lot here that is not what I would expect with Oneil Cruz, Tyler O'Neill. Right? His expected batting average is right around where he expected, 221, 220-ish, right? He's always been a whiff meister. His whiff percentage is started 3.2. His K percentage is 32. Meister. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a mouthful. Where the hell
I was gonna say whiff master, and I just said meister, and I went Saturday Night Live. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about the bottom 9% in contact rate, right? So because bottom 9 in whiff percentage and bottom 7% in K rate. But his walk percentage is top 93%. Look, the thing is that he's going to get over this cold streak. And if he's given the opportunity, as long as the Red Sox don't do something stupid and make him a platoon player, he's going to put up some great numbers like he's done before. His biggest issues have been playing time and health. And as long as he tackles, it looks like he's going to be getting playing time because they wouldn't have given up what they did to get Tyler O'Neill onto into the team. Then it's just going to be health. And I think he's going to be fine. But if you drafted him, this is what you expected from him. You should have expected a long cold streak. It's just going to be a matter of what pulls him out. Because when you strike out as much as he does, and when you just completely miss the ball as much as he does with that whiff rate, this is going to happen.
Yeah. AJ, any thoughts or you got a couple
my main go-to here would be that we should have gone to Wheel of Fortune with a before and after puzzle of Tyler Oneil Cruz.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
That's all I got.
Awesome. All right, so we got a couple things here. So Uncle Ted mentioning that Alec Burleson is 98% available in Yahoo leagues. That's insane.
I wish he's available.
And then Uncle Ted also is saying Nolan Jones is who to buy cheap.
Okay. You can buy him.
It depends on how cheap. I mean, I picked him up for free off waivers Brian Hayes got hurt for me. I was like, well, I could either throw Brian Hayes in my IL or I could just pick up Nolan Jones, who has massive more upside than Brian Hayes, and throw him in my IL until he comes back. Yeah, I'm doing that. So I just was like, I'll do that. Like, who cares? Like, Brian Hayes is fine, but he's exactly that. He's fine. I'd rather take a chance at a huge home run swing and get Nolan Jones. We've mentioned this before with Nolan Jones. I think there's not much else to be said about this except that last year is a little bit of a mirage with him. Right. He had a 401 BABIP that elevated his average quite a bit. He is not that good of a hitter. Yes, he plays in Colorado, so could he go 2020 again? Sure. Right. Especially in a full season, but I kind of think that like everybody's looking at last year and he did 2020 in 106 games and that, he's going to go 25-25 or even 30-25 or something like that. I don't think so. I think we're going to see, his contact rate go down and we already saw that early this season, and that's going to affect everything else. And so, yeah, sure, go ahead and take him. I think, Joe. Yeah, I mean, look, Jones hits the ball so hard, right? I get it. You're saying that, but I just think like if we're talking about guys like Tyler O'Neill and even Oneil Cruz, right, who have ups and downs, swings and misses in their swing, this is another guy big time to me. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, okay, so Nolan Jones is returning from the IL. A couple other people that are returning around the same time. I want to know, of these people, would you take Nolan Jones over them? All right, let's say that all these people are available because they're all returning from the IL. Okay, Byron Buxton, Jorge Soler, Chas McCormick, Chris Bryant, Jason Hayward. Yes, Luis Rivera, but I doubt he's available anywhere. But I mean, Chas McCormick, I'm almost certain if you don't have enough IL spots or you don't have any, he's available. I would take Chas McCormick over. I would take him over Nolan Jones. I mean, unless you need, unless you need, I don't know. I can't even think of the situation.
Those two are close to me. I think McCormick's a little bit safer. He had a horrendous start to the year also, but I think he's a little bit safer. But Nolan Jones still has that that allure, like, man.
Oh yeah, from last year.
So I get it. So I that's close. Those two are the that'd be the only player out of that list. Maybe Soler, but I mean Soler is like power only, and man, he's really got to go on a hot streak for him to like.
You don't want 6 games of Byron Buxton? God.
Byron Buxton will sneeze tomorrow and go back on the IL. Get out of here. So we do have one more question. Mark is asking, would you drop Brandon Donovan to pick up Alec Burleson? So, sure.
I mean,
I don't know.
Depends. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, it depends if you're again, the league makeup and all that fun stuff.
I think, I think Donovan's batting average is going to climb. Yeah. I think this early power surge from Donovan for him is not going to continue at this rate, but I always kind of said that I thought he was going to hit for more power than he did last year.
Right.
We started seeing it finally last year.
Right.
So I kind of always liked him. I mean, I don't know. You're more the prospect guy. I mean, what's up with the Burleson guy, man?
I mean,
he's youngish still, right?
Yeah. So no, absolutely. And I absolutely loved Brandon Donovan to start the season. I kind of was, hunting for him on a couple, areas as well. And I think the whole all of the Cardinals are terrible right now. I know Alec Burleson is a Cardinal as well, but I don't know. I mean, look, here's the thing. And he's hitting home runs. He has 4 already, which is great. But the other thing is too, he's got an incredible glove, which will keep him on the field. A team that's struggling, right? They always will look for a reason to bench somebody. I don't know. I say go for it. I mean, 280 average.
Yeah, I mean,
losing
Donovan's not going to lose you the league. So if you want to go for,
but I'll tell you this though, this year old guys have looked really old. Like other years, like it hasn't been like you're like, oh, that KG vet, he's doing stuff. Like some of these guys look like they've aged 10 years on the off season.
Yeah.
And Donovan's one of them, and hell, the whole Cardinals team is one of them. It's just crazy to me what's been going on with some of these players. Hope it's just
there. You go, AJ. Wheel of Fortune puzzle. Connor, Joe, Ryan, McMahon. That's a good one.
That's
a good one. That's a triple. That's a good one. I like that. All right, let's move on here.
I got it. I'm just mad at Joe Ryan because he sucked tonight. So
all right.
I was blocking him out.
We got another Cruz, Mr. Elly. I only had to put him on here. I mean, like
Tyler O'Neill, Cruz, De La. It doesn't work.
First of all, we looked at his ADP in the offseason, right? When everybody was drafting, you had to put at the latest a 3rd rounder To get
Dude,
Elly De La
he was
Cruz.
going like second round in a lot of
Right.
like 15-teamer leagues. Like
Yeah.
it was insane for me. Like, look, man, he's like we've talked about him a ton on this show, and like, man, the talent and like the counting stats at the end of the season, everybody's gonna go, yeah, but see what you could have gotten for him. Oh my god,
Right.
You know how many times I want to like put my fist through the wall watching his like 2-week stretches of what he's doing right now, where he's striking out at like 50% clips. Maddening what happens with him. I don't like he takes Oneil Cruz and like Tyler O'Neill, like two different like stratospheres as far as like these stretches of just I suck at baseball, right? And he's gonna steal a base, and then he's gonna walk, and then he's gonna steal 2 bases, right? So like, you know, the stolen bases are incredible still. Like even with a 213 batting average, he's got 8 stolen bases. Like, holy cow! I mean, just amazing talent from this guy. He's just got to figure out how to make more consistent contact.
Here's the thing with Elly De La Cruz, though. His upside is Elly De La Cruz, right? The guy that we get popcorn for. You can't miss that bet. His low end, like the absolute rock bottom, is Asturias Ruiz, where you have a guy who will steal a ton of bases and will hurt you in some other stats. But are either one bad? I mean, yeah, where you drafted him, if you're an idiot, you know, you got him in third round or earlier, then yeah, I'm sorry. But at the same time, that's your high and low. Both of them are still starters. Asturias Ruiz is starting some leagues, but I mean, he's also leading the league in stolen bases. So
I love
he doesn't even
the
play every
Facebook
game.
groups. Yeah,
he
basically does.
He does more now, but at the start of the season, he was not playing every game. And then they were like, all right.
So
yeah,
I love the Facebook group chats, right? So in the beginning of the season, it was all the Elly De La Cruz haters. Right. We're like, yeah, see, I hate this. And then he went on that tear. Absolutely. Right. And it was all the people who were like, yeah, where's all the haters now? And now it's right back the other way, dude. It's like a fight all season. It's gonna be glorious to watch. I'm just sitting back and like eating the popcorn, dude. So I got a question for both of you. AJ, you first. A player like Elly De La Cruz, right? Or you could take any of the guys that we're talking about, like these guys that go on, like, you know, we know they're gonna have big ups and downs, big swings in their game throughout the whole season.
Hey, pun intended.
Would you rather have them in a rotisserie season-long, like rotisserie league, or a weekly head-to-head league? Oof. Where do you think they're more valuable?
I think they're going to be more valuable in a weekly if you can gauge the right weeks.
Yeah, good luck.
So
I mean, that would be awesome in Roto too. I would just be sitting him right now until he goes off for like 4 home runs tomorrow.
No,
like, come on, dude.
I
You can't say that.
I say that caveat by saying,
if you're perfect at playing fantasy,
either one
great.
of them is the right answer. Like I think it's equal either way you look at it.
Oh my
because
God.
if you're in a,
you can make money at the craps table if you're perfect at placing your bets. Nailed it.
If you bet on red at the perfect time.
That's not the craps table, first of all. Second of all, stop. Don't ever go to a casino. Third of all,
the pass line. Whatever. That's what I meant to say. Anyway. All right. Dap.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Head-to-head or Roto? Where would you rather have him?
Oh, head-to-head all day long. Because head-to-head, I can, you look at who the team you're playing, and you look, okay, where, and he has a definite. So look, hey, the guy I'm playing can't get stolen bases. I know I'm going to win it with, Elly De La Cruz. If I don't, and I have to, come up with a whole bunch of areas, especially like average or OBP, depending on what kind of league you're in, then it's a little bit easier to figure out where to fit him. In Roto, I mean, good luck. I mean, you just have to start him, and you have to kind of build your team around to fix the areas where he's not going to help you until the end of the year. So
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm on the head-to-head side, honestly. I get it, Uncle Ted. Like the steals alone in Roto play, or the
Just
steals
like
in
Ruiz,
Roto
right?
alone
Yeah,
play.
absolutely.
I get it. To me, in head-to-head though, is like, look, he's not gonna lose it for you in 1 week, but he will absolutely win it for you by himself just about in 1 week.
Yeah.
Like when he goes on his like absolute tears, he was hitting like 380 for like a couple of weeks there. Like it was insane. When he starts going off like that and he's just locked in, he's gonna win you those weeks alone. The weeks that he's off, hopefully it's a daily league and you can kind of figure it out. But if it's a weekly league, I think you're just riding with it. All right. Let's move on here. Try to speed up the pace a little bit. Adolis Garcia. Jay, we mentioned him the other day in one of your trades that you brought up to me, and I was like, you know what? I know Adolis Garcia got off to a hot start, but I hadn't really looked at his stats recently. Yeah, apparently they really tailed off.
Yes,
batting a clean 200. This was as of this morning, so if you're playing today, I don't know. 2 home runs, no stolen bases in May. And
this was a different offer altogether that I
I know. I just when I saw the name kind of show up as like one of the ones that we could pick from, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I again, do as I say, not as I do, sort of deal. I put a trade out there that I didn't love, but was like, well, he's got this guy sitting on his bench. I know it's probably because he wasn't playing today, but I tried to get Ketel Marte, and the guy needed outfield help, so I offered my worst outfielder and a second baseman, Kim, who I just got done bashing a little bit ago. So obviously rejected, made sense. Garcia is one that I kind of thought about, well, this is the guy, like, based on these stats, he's really fallen off.
Yeah,
and
I just think, though.
I don't think he's going to continue along this stretch. He's too good of a player. Texas is too good of a team. You would think, based on the fact that they won the World Series and obliterated Arizona in that World Series. I just don't see him staying this low for these May stats that we have up here.
Basically what these May stats did was regressed him back to him being normal, right? Yeah. Like he was so far above his normal, he's still high. He's still got a higher batting average on the season than he did the last 3 seasons. Yeah. Right. So this just brought him back down to earth, back to what you're used to getting. It just sucks that it came in like a completely hot month and a cold half a month so far. I think, he'll kind of balance back out is what we're going to end up seeing over the long run. But, I think this is just more proof that this is kind of what you're going to get. From a lot of these guys.
The fact that Texas got swept by Colorado, one of the worst teams in the league right now, was just like, what the hell are we doing here? Like it was embarrassing as a person who has multiple Texas Rangers on my teams. Like this is not what I expected. This is not good. So
yeah. So look, you just mentioned it, right? World Series champions, and he's your cleanup hitter. So you have a chance for multiple RBIs. He's gonna score runs as well. But again, you're talking about a guy who strikes out a bunch, but when he hits it, he does damage. He just hit a 2-run home run yesterday. So the thing is that I think that's, Joe, you said it best. He was too hot the first 2 months.
Way too good.
Way too hot. And, frankly, is this one of those things where he needed to come back down? We just didn't expect him to come back down in, a matter of 3 weeks. So look, if you're able to, grab somebody that's going to trade you $1 for, Kim or somebody like that, all day long. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's a potentially top 20 player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's only his plate appearances this year, just so we're clear, he's had 182 plate appearances, batting 4th in the Rangers lineup. Oh, and once batting 7th, where he got subbed in. Yeah, he'll be okay. It's one of those things. But yeah, absolutely. The thing is, I think what's great here is that we're highlighting people that are getting cold right now. And we have a lot of people that only look at this, their box score. They just look at the box score and they just say, oh, this guy's just starting to suck, right? And they start getting antsy and they start getting nervous, or they start seeing themselves fall down. The rankings in the overall league, that in the fantasy league, and that's when you pounce. Because again, it's 162 games. If you look back last year, you could see Adolis had some bad months and some bad stretches. Mm-hmm. You could see all these guys, and these guys are professional hitters. It's not a fluke. Adolis has always been kind of this type of hitter, but
Adolis Garcia is like Javi Baez a little bit, like terrible, like plate approach when you really think about it. And it's always like, how is this working?
Right.
And then Javi Baez got old and his bat speed slowed down, and it stopped working. Right. Adolis Garcia isn't there yet, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, you're not going to get the 25 stolen bases that we got in 22, but you're going to get everything else. And so nothing to worry about here.
Yeah. So next up here, CJ Abrams, 7-7 in the 7 home runs, 7 steals in the first month. And now no home runs, no stolen bases. The batting average has dropped 100 points. It has all gone in the complete opposite direction. Another guy who was basically like fantasy MVP for the first month. Like, just absolutely insane. The numbers he was putting up, and I was like, oh boy, like I liked him coming into the year, but man, I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, holy crap, we're gonna get like a 30, 40 guy out of this, and never mind. Just kidding. That's not happening anymore. No. So, is this just, he's going to bounce back out? He's just in a little bit of a slump. Or is there something we should worry about? These are like drastically worse, like even worse than like Adolis Garcia.
His splits home and away are horrific. His home average is 303, 329 OBP, and 455 slugging. His away is 231 average with a 320 OBP and a 516 slugging. I think the thing is he's starting to play, starting to get more of those away. I have no, it's not like, oh my God, the Washington Nationals have the best home park. I have no reason to understand why that is the case. Maybe just likes home cooking better. But yeah, that's some of the part there. Again, his expected average, his expected OBP are still some of the highest in the league. So the underlying metrics are still there, but I think also, and one more thing, his average is 225 against righties. It's 348 against lefties. The only thing I'm concerned about, if there's any other team, I'd be platoon issues. The fact that he plays for the Nationals, who just don't care, they're going to let him hit out of it, but that's concerning, right? So a couple things here. Is he playing away? If you play in a daily league, if he's playing away, I would probably not want to, play him. Is he playing against a righty? I probably wouldn't want to play him. If he's playing against a righty, and he's away, definitely bench him. Yeah.
No whammy. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. I think it comes down to a plethora of things here. Again, he was playing out of his mind. I didn't trust those numbers at all. And we told people to sell high 100%. But yeah, he's not this bad and he wasn't that good. He's somewhere in between.
Yeah. That's kind of what I would gauge with him because, again, not to make it about me, but this is the guy that's offered in a lot of these trades that I get. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm
in a points league, I don't think I would want Abrams.
I don't want to
think about it. Like he's a more head-to-head roto type player because of the steals, and the steals don't play in points leagues most of the time, right?
No, I think they're 2 points in that league. So they're
not
better,
worth it. I mean, like Raz Slam's different. They're like 5 or 6 points. Those matter.
Yeah, so. If he's not hitting the homers, like if that,
and he was never like. I mean,
well, yeah, he's never been a big power guy.
He hit almost half he hit almost half the homers he hit all of last year in the first month of the season. Like,
yeah, that's what I knew was wrong.
So,
like,
yeah,
I was like, was there a swing change? Like, I was digging. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, no, I'm out on him.
And that lineup is still terrible. So they figured out they don't have to pitch to him, and it's not working. Quick trade here from Mark. Thoughts on Kettle Marte plus Michael Harris for Freddie Freeman and Lars Nootbaar. He needs first base. It's an OBP league. I mean, Freeman's amazing. But talking about, like, you were talking about guys that look like they're getting old. Freeman's starting to show a little like, I mean, I think he's overall going to be fine, but we might not be looking at
I think we're seeing the downfall of like Freeman.
But OBP, man, he's like elite OBP.
He's still solid there. Like if
we're talking over 400.
If that's your target stat or cat,
he looks like he had Castellanos, so he needs
Casas.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get that,
I mean,
Marte's been really good though too.
He's been good too. I like Harris. I get Nootbaar though. I don't know, man. Nootbaar's okay, not great. Nootbaar is like,
I'm fine with I
think Nootbaar is more of like an even throw in. Like I'm giving you 2 guys. Your
Nootbaar doesn't really do it for me. Nootbaar seems like you might drop him next week.
A solid bench piece that you want to get rid of.
Yeah,
that's tough, man.
Yeah, depend. I mean, like Harris is really good, and Marte's obviously looking like Marte right now than he has in the past. But I'm
Freeman's batting behind the 2 best hitters in baseball right now. Like, incredible. Like, oh my gosh. So he might have 180 RBI. Like, geez. All right. I think I take the Freeman side, but that's tough. That's tough. Giving up those 2 that might leave a lot of holes on your lineup there. So, last one here, Mr. Fastball Freddy Peralta.
Don't trade Freeman. Final word. Don't trade Freeman. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he would be getting Freeman.
He's getting.
He's getting Freeman. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Okay, Freeman. Get Freeman all day. Yeah, that's
I can read.
Yeah.
All right. So Fastball Freddy. Quick thoughts on him. Obviously, things are not going well for him in May. Dap. What's wrong? Should we be worried?
No.
What'd you do?
Well, okay. A couple things here. One, every pitcher's hurt right now, and the idea that you would get rid of a pitcher that
I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm saying, are you worried?
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, let's be honest here, right? You're starting Peralta, regardless, right? Like, there's no way Peralta is like your 4th best starting pitcher on your team, so you have to start him. First off. Secondly, I'm not worried about him. It's freaking Freddy Peralta, right? I don't know how to explain this to people so that way you understand this. He's awesome. Is that clear enough for you? So whatever this baloney is that's going on right now, I'm not even freaking worried about it. I mean, it's whatever. I don't even like, other than him being injured, I'm not worried. Sorry. Is that okay?
Yes. Good enough. Last question, then we'll jump into injuries. Is Michael Busch worth keeping in a 10-team head-to-head category league?
And I think Ty France is what he's thinking about.
I don't know.
He's from France.
Michael Busch came out stupid hot. I mean,
Tom Lacking. What's the France?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, Michael Busch came out so freaking hot when he joined the Cubs. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, the Cubs got such a deal for this." So it was.
But he's fallen off, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but again, where he was not where he should have been to begin with.
True.
So 100% not worried about that.
I think in a 10-team league, you can probably throw him back, and I think you'd be okay. Ty France is available. I don't know. I mean, I feel
there's got to be something better than
in a 10-team league. There's got to be somebody better than Ty France available, unless you've got like 15-person benches. Like, I don't. That seems.
And Michael Bush is still like one of the leaders in exit velocity, and his underlying metrics for that. And on top of that, the Cubs are looking really good this year. I like.
No, Tom. For those guys, I'm keeping Bush over
Bell,
Josh
France,
Bell
or Bush,
and
Bush,
France.
and it's not even close.
Yeah.
We're talking like two
Yeah.
tiers. Yeah, not even.
So, all right, let's move on here. All right,
let me rip through some of these injuries here real quick. Nothing super big of note, but Dansby Swanson has been on the IL 10 since 5/10. He's dealing with a knee issue that stemmed from a late April game where he had a weird slide or something. Who knows what's going on with him. He hasn't been great this year in my mind because I own him, so I know that. Nick Lodolo, IL 15 since 5/15. He's dealing with a left groin strain.
I'm sorry. Can I just go back to the Dansby Swanson thing? That injury analysis was top notch. He injured his knee doing some type of slide or something, and he's just sucked ever since. And then the next, sorry, I just love that. Go ahead.
I'm trying to rip through
Welcome back,
these.
AJ.
Doing my best, Harry Carey here.
I know. Just go ahead.
Enjoying the Cubbies. So Nick Lodolo, IL 15 since 5/15, left groin strain. It sounds like he's hopeful that he's only going to require the minimum stay, but TBD on that. Michael Conforto has kind of come on as of late, but then he has a right hamstring strain. Hasn't played since 5/11 Saturday. Reese Hoskins has been on the IL 10 now since just the other day, the 14th. Also right hamstring strain. More time at first base for Jake Bowers, while Hoskins is out, and Bowers has been pretty solid. Milwaukee's been pretty solid, so if he's available, might be a good plug and play, especially if you need some help in corner infield spots. Austin Riley, this is just a day-to-day. He's got a left side inflammation. Sounds like a hockey injury.
I know,
hasn't played since 5/12 with this
lower
left
body
side
injury,
inflammation.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm hurt. Okay, I'm hurt.
I'm hurt somewhere,
and I don't appreciate your judgment right now. That hurts me more. I am out another couple of games. Nico Horner, also day-to-day with a left hamstring tightness.
This
hasn't played since.
This one's concerning to me because, dude, he already was starting off slow. He wasn't running enough as it was.
Correct.
Batting lower in the lineup, and now he's got a hamstring injury. No.
Yeah, they're like, oh, so you're not.
Those are the ones
okay,
that
we're gonna move you down. Oh, so you're hurt.
That's the one though that if they, that can linger, especially those hamstring things, and if they keep trying to rush them back. And the thing is too is that I was Dansby. You have Nico, and the Cubs are kind of coming around. I don't know. I would. They're talking about ready putting him back on Friday. I'm just really worried about.
He was starting to run today. A little more. He's got 4 steals this month as compared to 1 steal last month. Right. But so you were like, all right, maybe he's turning around. He's got 2 bombs this month. Didn't have any in April. Like, okay, maybe this is maybe we're getting Nico Horner back. Now he's got a hamstring injury. Nah. You don't want to.
You don't got time for that. We don't have time for hamstrings.
No, absolutely not. So, all right, who's coming back?
So
let's do some good
coming
news.
Back. Welcome back. We got Mr. Brian Wu came back a couple games ago. I think that was last Friday, the 10th as well.
Do you think he's got like? Do you think they have like a whole fan section of like Woo girls?
I don't know what a Woo girl is.
Nobody. Do you know what a Woo girl is?
Yeah,
I do not. I literally just said I do not know what a Woo girl is, and you just asked a question.
You're a Woo girl, AJ. You're a
Maybe
woo girl.
I thought I was a safety cone. Now I'm a woo girl.
A woo girl, it's like the girls at
wearing
the
many
party
hats.
or like the club or the bar that like whenever their
like,
like
"Woo."
favorite song comes on, they're like woo.
That's
You
my
never heard that term before?
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
Yeah, he
Anyway.
needs one of those, and they should all be BTS singers. So anyway, Brian Wu coming back. 2 games, 9 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 8 Ks, under 1 ERA, under.
So he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, he's good.
The next one, the next one. Oh, sorry, you're not going the last one. Okay.
Grayson Rodriguez could return this weekend against Woo Girls in Seattle. So we'll see. This news was from Monday, so it's not definite yet. We've got Mr. Joe Musgrove could also return this week against the ATL on Sunday. Not a great start opponent, but yeah, roll the dice. Why not? And then Luis Rengifo, Angels.
That's favorite player.
All around utility guy.
I have so many shares of this dude.
Activated. He was
like,
activated
so
today.
bad at him and more the Angels.
I did not see what he did today. So
I have so many shares of this guy, and then on top of that, like, you know, he has like 45 position eligibility, and I'm just like, you know, and then he was just terrible the first 4 weeks. Then he starts hitting around, and then he gets hurt, and I'm like, really, guy, you got to do this to me, huh? All right, sorry. Yes. Anyways.
okay. Well, let's get to the question of the day. Let's forget about these injuries and the Woo Girls, and let's talk about
that. Lead it away.
Else.
Lead the way here.
Yeah. Man. So, you know, and by the way, you know,
this is the hard hitting fantasy advice right here.
So I was starting to think about, like, you know, what MLB mascot would win an all-out brawl, and then the funny thing is, we started talking about this, and we started pulling up the mascots themselves. And so I'm interested to see how you guys decided who would win in a fight, because there's a couple different ways you go about this, right? You could go like, well, you know, I can tell you how I'll do it, but I'm not going to, I just want to see how you guys think about this, and I'll tell you my thought process. Go ahead.
So I actually found a picture online of all the mascots.
Yes.
There are 2 teams, by the way, that do not have a mascot.
Yes.
It is
what?
The teams that spend the most money in the league.
Yep.
The Yankees and the Dodgers. We're just like, we don't have time for mascots.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at this and I was like, wait,
that's horrible.
That's not enough. That's not enough teams right here. Yeah, there's 2 missing. Little did I know. Yeah. So it's not just a question of the day. It's a did you know? So anyway.
Hold up. So all right. I'm gonna
AJ's like baffled.
No, I'm not baffled.
No, go ahead.
I'm going. I think I just. Here we go. Why the hell is this guy, this Friar Tuck fat MFer over here on the right bottom?
That was creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
What is it? No, the San Diego Chicken is the mascot that wins this, because he's kicking that fat bastard's ass the hell off of this screen. And he's taking his rightful place back into mascot infamy. I don't know, non-infamy, whatever.
I mean,
I'm not going to go with the Philly Fanatic, because he's, you know, lives on a random island that nobody knows about. That makes sense.
I mean, does he have like random like magical powers that I don't know?
Yeah, he does. Look at him. He's just shrugging like, oh, what do you want? You want me to
bring
it? My
bring it
waist around? Okay, and then he's got one of those like party streamer things for a tongue.
I mean, I was gonna go with the Royal King looking dude, because you know he's probably got like an army behind it, but he looks a little too cocky.
You guys are all idiots. Okay, so the way I broke this down was very simple. I looked at, first of all, statistics of which animals kill the most in the wild. All right. So obviously, right, we're looking at lions and tigers and those types of things.
And bears.
But then there was the wild card. I didn't realize the Rockies had a Triceratops as their mascot. I mean, I'm thinking it's a Triceratops.
Yeah.
No, that's Triceratops.
Good one.
And so, according to
Smithsonian,
right, they engaged in violent combat, physical combat with one another, and they're aggressive and pugnacious. Are you honestly going to pick any of these other animals over a Triceratops? I don't think so. He would murder every one of these people.
I mean, we could just give it to the brewer who's going to get everybody else drunk, and then he'll just like,
oh, come on, man. We
come on.
That sounds
in a
like
brawl. He's like, no, guys, don't hit me.
Hey guys, let's take a pause.
No, Triceratops gonna mess him up. So,
hold on.
Yeah,
I got an idea.
So
the
Bob
brewer guy is like
Baby Bob
Jim
Barney
Brewer,
dude is
and
gonna
he's
kill
just
everybody.
gonna be like freaking half baked, getting everybody drunk over there to try to not kick his ass. And then you got Mustachio Companion over here in Cincinnati Reds land. And then you got Mr. Mutt with his stupid baseball head. No, none of those. And I'm a fan of mustaches, but I'm not having this. And a Triceratops in medieval dinosaur times, sure. But this little bitch, look at this thing. It's a freaking purple pansy. Like, no. He doesn't even have a nose horn.
Not the
he
mascot
barely has a nose horn.
No, he does. He does. It's just hard to see.
I said barely has a nose horn.
AJ, not the mascot itself. What is the mascot? You use your imagination, right? Obviously, it's not somebody in a costume. Yes, we said what is the mascot that would in a brawl, AJ. First off, they're not going to fight, right? We have to use our creativity and imagination.
Which would win in an all-out brawl?
I'm good with it.
Which mascot is the picture of these chumps right here? So which one of these would win in a brawl is the question of the day.
My only thing was, what is the giant? What is the giant? Is that a squirrel?
It's a seal.
It's a seal.
Oh, so yeah, I was just about to say that. Actually, I was gonna I get why it's a seal. But I also don't get why it's not a seal. I get it because they hit the ball into the water.
Cove. Yeah.
But it's like, really? You get to pick like a giant? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Of all the ones here, like the Diamondbacks literally have the name of an animal, and they decided to go with a bobcat. I'm lost. Yes. I'm lost.
That actually was mentioned in one of the articles. That it doesn't make any sense. By the way, Mark is having way too much fun with this Wheel of Fortune puzzle. Connor, Joe, Ryan,
McMahon, Machado, Garcia, Yasuka.
This is like poorly texted at this point. Was this like auto-corrected?
That looks like
no, he didn't auto-correct it. I know where
Sonny Grayson. Oh, he took it.
It's not before middle, and then after. It's before and after.
Sure.
All right, so it goes Triceratops, elephant.
Can we end on this?
Sure.
Why, dude? Why an elephant? Can you explain this to me?
Yes. Okay. Sit down.
Because everybody wants to forget that they root for the A's.
So the whole thing started off with the previous owner basically saying that they will win a championship when when elephants fly. And so it became the mascot for the Oakland A's. And that was back when they were in
Ricky Henderson.
It wasn't Milwaukee. Where were they before? In Kansas City. Sorry, Philadelphia. And so
Philadelphia. Hello.
Oh,
you're welcome.
And I apologize. No, they had a big white elephant on their hands. The disc was the McGraw back in the A's. Oh. So it became the fact that the
history. We're learning today.
Yeah, Philadelphia's club had no money, and so they basically said, "Oh, cool, you're gonna call us a white elephant," and they decided to take the disc and put it part of their jersey. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. I thought it was because of the whole, when elephants fly versus pigs fly, but whatever. Either way, it makes more sense than whatever the alien-looking dude is for the Indians. The Guardians, and help me understand the Braves. What is that thing?
Where is it?
Four from the left on the bottom row.
Ooh. Disappointment in real life form.
I mean, there's some There's some.
He's got like weird horns on.
They're not horns. They're like they're like
ears that are like sticking out.
Yeah,
some of these mascots like literally are just. I mean, come on, you can't get much weirder than the Philly Fanatic.
The Philly Fanatic though I've accepted over the years just because he
is beloved.
Right, but what's the Guardians guy there in the bottom right
next to the Friar?
This one? What is that? Is that like what happens when Elmo gets drunk? Like what happens to that dude?
It's when Elmo gets drunk and has a menage
Elmo
with
in a nightmare.
Guys.
That looks like what happens like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and they get hit with that acid. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, look, the Blue Jays one makes sense. I'd rather
spend a night with Jessica Rabbit than that thing. I don't know what those spots are on its
crotch.
I don't trust
anything.
It's a weird form of mascot herpes.
You know what? Anything's better than them actually dressing them up like an Indian, I guess, back in the day when they were the Cleveland Indians.
Sorry. Anything is better than this.
How dare you?
Sorry.
You will now have nightmares.
Oh, I absolutely
will. Where Gritty will wake up.
The best part was that AJ showed us the girl he used to be his girlfriend in college. It's very similar. They used to have beard growing contests.
Did you call Gritty today to like get your outfit coordinated?
Now, because we're old, we remember this. But remember old school Showbiz Pizza?
Yes, I do actually remember.
Remember the little hick band? Remember the right side? They used to have that weird drummer. I mean, not the drummer. The guy in like the far right used to come out of the trash can. The other guy, he looks just like that guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Chuck E. Cheese thing you're talking about?
No, Showbiz Pizza. Before I went to Chuck E. Cheese, but he used to have that. Used to have that.
The Chuck E. Cheese like. Hey, we're gonna put on a weird show for your birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. Billy Bob,
scary as F. I never
look up Showbiz Pizza. I guarantee it, and you'll enjoy it.
I think I know what you're talking about, but either way, yeah. Why is there no San Diego chicken? I don't buy it. With all these other birds, come on. Still winning.
These are all. This says Showbiz, but this looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
There you go. Click on the little link I sent you there, Joe. We can wrap it up.
What the hell is the Red Sox guy? He looks like Elmo's about.
Which one am I pulling up here? These are. Oh God, these are.
Elmo's sick right
now. That's Showbiz, bro.
Elmo came up to Boston and got wicked drunk, y'all.
What is happening on this show? This just went off the road.
All right, so thanks everybody for watching. There you go.
Oh God!
Enjoy that.
Yes.
Tonight.
Fuck,
five Nights at Freddy.
What the hell?
See the guy there coming out of the stump? That's what I was talking about.
This thing back here?
No, bottom right hand corner. Bottom right hand corner.
Stump.
Bottom right hand corner.
Like a fucking
This is creepy up here too, though. What is this weird looking thing?
Yeah.
Look at the drummer. He can't even move his wrists. He's just. That's how he drums.
He used to drum like this.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yes.
Thanks everybody for watching. Next week we'll be talking about fastest bat swing data that has just been released, along with having absolute latest injury news that AJ will read. What else, Joe?
And more mascot challenges.
I don't know.
And we'll
figure it out next week.
But please come on down and also watch the waiver wire video that we'll be releasing in the next 24 hours. We'll help you pick up the best and brightest and tell you who to drop. As always, this is DapScout. Thank you so much for watching. That's Joe Bond. That's AJ. And we're out.
Dab's ready to go. So I guess we're ending. See you all later.
I don't know what we were talking about there. I was just trying to.
I don't know. I'm done too.
You're the one that brought up the scary freaking stage show.
Bye.
Blame you.
Bye.
Bye.